Gorst begins his campaign for yet another title, and he starts with a 1 in the side, and on the 2, and another ball down as well. Here we
the best in the game, you could say, and day in, day out to the U.S. Open, but we saw Coping Chunk. But if you look at the year and game in the final, I think those little things is little things that push you over the edge, and Fedor Gorst really doesn't ignore all those little things that make a difference. Maybe even more. No, he's easing it.
Dimitris Lukatos, the runner-up. Yeah,
good to see for FSR and a very
experienced opponent. You've got to find a way of making that count, because we see it so often that when the favourite starts to get away, by a few racks in one of these matches, it can end.
Should be some separation here, trying to go behind the 9, maybe double bank the 6 like this. And we'll see, does he try to play behind the 8? Looks like he's going off the right side, so he's really got to have a lot of confidence with this shot. So it's pretty nice. Maybe more than I thought was. 25, 30 guys that is a real favorite to make this. All right, so
what a moment for Nguyen Hong Pong. Chance here to take an early lead against the undisputed world number 1.
Watch out, side pocket. He's going to get past that. He's going to be dressed up on a pretty easy.
Sometimes, even when it's a straightforward chance and we see the rank outsider in a match like this come to the table, they're not.
Great view there, seeing he's playing the bank shot. Very nice. Play the 8 up long. This type of shot you could lose in the side pocket, the cue ball. Yeah, it just sits that way. Oof.
Did he avoid the scratch, but he's kept himself on the 8. That's deposited. And this fairly straight to lead the world champion by 2 racks to 0. And the fine start continues. So once again, a miss on.
I'll tell you, we always talk about Michael. After you make a few mistakes, nothing easier to leave
it behind than close match against the eventual champion Jason Shaw. He lost at 10-8. It was really a tournament that summed up in close matches. Gorst's 2023 quarter-final defeats last year. Was US Open finalist in 23.
He's not so well.
He's made that big leap forward this year.
Hold this for the brown 7 in the same corner. Happy to see that fall. It looks like he's going to roll this, maybe bump the 9 a hair to hold the cue ball. Did check it shy the 9.
Didn't win either of the first 2. Chances to win all ball in hand. Set him up this time, and with the easiest of 9s into the side, Gorst is finally off and running. He still trails, but it's now 2-1.
I think that's exactly how he intended to hit.
Watching this at all. The 8 ball, I think Gorst was already contemplating his next shot.
Isn't that good? I know he fluked the ball there, but he was trying to hold the cue ball to make some type of difficult shot for Gorst in return, and now he's made it.
To be affecting his performance so far very well. He has a chance to lead by 2 for the second time in the match.
Decisions have been very good as well.
Yeah, and a routine couple of balls to finish it off. So what a 9 ball. Goes 2 clear for the second time in the match. He leads Fedor Gorst 3-1.
Cool.
Yeah, he might look at
whatnot. Can't really tell you the last time he was back in the good old US. Hard to tell with Fedor sometimes, because he'll cue middle ball and then drop the tip for the draw stroke. It's near.
Such a high standard from him all the time. Not quite his brilliant best so far. On the scene is Fu Jianbo. Be playing tomorrow against Rodlin John Batista. Fu Jianbo, former World Cup of Pool.
Yeah, Raga maybe some more visa issues still. I think he had some at all speed control. Kind of cross the line here. He's going to be a little shy, but that's actually a little more workable. But I think he's kind of learned to not stress and kind of play his way into the tournament a bit. If you do have an alarming mistake or two.
Well, he certainly had to be patient at the World Championship in Saudi Arabia back in June. Lost his Open. He's been behind in this match ever since the end of the first rack, but a couple of balls away.
Holds the ball here on the slick felt. No reason to move it over.
Down in this match, but now back on level terms at 3-all. Fedor Gorst, who became the 13th.
May stun this and try and go into the pink off 2 cushions. Yeah, that's what I saw. Maybe it just sat better, it looked like. He took that for granted, pulled the trigger very quickly. Aiming can get a little distorted, but with his experience, he knows he can use a little the side rail there to slide that ball in the table. Well, cue ball and come across the pink catch for a snooker. Good speed. Couldn't do a whole lot.
We got a proper sense of just how strong the scene had become in Vietnam. He was one of 7 Vietnamese players to make the last 32 in that tournament. 4 of them.
Just a little more time looking at where he won the cue ball in the pink 4. Gorst has been off this match a few times. And shouldn't be off here, though. Should get a lead.
Odds at the start of the match that it would take us until the end of the 7th rack for Gorst to be in front for the first time in the contest. He's won 3 racks in a row now, and he leads. And only a week to go now.
Well, just give it to the Mosconi Cup, really. I'm going to try and get a little word with Efren as the days go on and just see how his nerves are, as a captain. And, of course, the first one here. Looks like he's going to draw to the rail, try and get a little closer to the 8.
Fedor Gorst was 2 racks behind. He's against Trong Dai Tung. Nguyen back to 5-4 behind here. He's made the 1 in the side. And he's on the 2, Jeremy.
Just got to get out for the 3 in the side. The 4's pretty open. Wants to stay off the rail. Doesn't really have to do much. Don't end up short. That's the one. You can handle a little distance, which I like what he played there. Kind of opening up. And again, all right, just wants to come 1 rail above the 9. Oh. Safety on the 8. Not what you want, but you got to do it sometimes. And I think that's smart. I mean,
Well, he could not really have played that much better. That's a fine way to complete.
Just don't think it's going to happen, really. And if that, he deposited it quickly. And maybe gaining a little confidence as we go. Be interested to see how he plays to the 6. I think I'd it easily. But you can see he just moves the ball. He may fall underneath this ball. Kind of like this. Yeah, and we talk about gotta lean on those safeties. They've been pretty good. This is going to be a little heavy.
As it is, and the expectation would have been he'd simply run away. Hasn't been that way. Got pegged back to 5-all. Looked as though he might fall behind, but instead Gorst by potting it. 6-5 Gorst.
Friendly kiss on the cue ball. The 2's going to be up towards the left side, so he's attacking, trying to run the cue ball. Got a little, actually kind of perfect, and what a line he made there on the 3.
We're so used to seeing matches like this in the early stages of these events, Jeremy, where one of them finish 9-0, 9-1. You could look at it and say that if Gorst comes through, a match like this probably does him more good. Is that the case, or is it just so early in the tournament that it's a...
Of course, calculated a little bit and kind of understand the mistake, but yeah, nothing wrong with a little challenge early. get the blood flowing a bit more in the past at times. Looked very serious every shot. You know, didn't take on some kind of silly offensive shot just because it's round one. And
first big matchroom individual title. He has been US Open champion, of course, sure, but that was in the pre-matchroom era. He will cling on to that title so doggedly this week. Meanwhile, Gorst, who was beaten by Shaw during that successful campaign in Hanoi last year, is clear at 5-3, got pegged back to 5-all. Was a chance he was going to go behind at 6-5, but he won that 11th rack. Now he's won the 12th as well in swift fashion, and so Gorst goes 2 clear
here, trying to take away the jump cue. Hit it hard, but I don't really see much luck there. Oh, he hit it really light. That's a really hard one to judge. All right, he does have a little piece. He caught the 6. So now a ball in hand to get to the hill for Gorst. In Vietnam, and not terrible today, I wouldn't say, but ooh, this has got to slow down. This is off by some piece. He certainly did.
But he's rolled in the 9 from distance.
Here in rack number 14, and I'd be curious, and I think if, but just wonder if he recognized, hey, I can't make mistakes and beat this guy. I got to play pretty darn well. And if
more good players coming through because they're playing those guys who've gone out and got a bit of experience on the world stage and a few balls away from getting right back into this contest, and only not over yet.
And I'll tell you what happens is the next generation, or you understand, it's a true sport to all these players, and they're just going to be a little better than some of the veterans in certain areas.
Nguyen Hong Pong, but again got back level and had a chance to lead at 6-5, lost that rack, lost there to get back to only 1 behind. But now it seems more likely than not.
More. The winner, at least at 4 o'clock. That's normally how it works. Yeah, it's
Gorst. He'll need to play better than this, you would feel, if he's to win the Hanoi Open this week. But what he has won is